Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Milwaukee Beer Review. I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
And we've got our normally scheduled program kicking back off again after our fantastic couple of episodes from our Final Four series. So thanks everybody for joining us today. What we've got for you is a return to a little brewery called Third Space Brewing Company, and this is part of their the In the Spirit series. So this is something that they're doing. This In the Spirit series. It's all barrel aged. Adjuncts with different spirits added to them. If you saw our Mocha Pie series. Yeah. That was also part of the In the Spirit series. So we've got a new grouping from the In the Spirit series here today from Third Space. Just a quick update on the brewery. Before we dive in, we're not going to spend a bunch of time on that today, but one cool little note about Third Space is they just recently, I think it was within the last week, announced that they are going statewide from a distribution perspective.
I've already talked to a couple friends who up in Eau Claire. Cannot wait, because it's a great brewery, great beer, so it's good to see them getting out there and getting the rest of the state.
Yeah, really awesome to see that they're doing that, and they've got some great stuff, so it'll be awesome to see how that goes, and for some other people within the state to be able to snag some of this stuff. So, again, this is the In the Spirit series. All of the beers we have here were released around St. Patrick's Day. It was actually just the weekend before, on March 13th, so I went and picked all of these up. So this is a yearly series that they do, the Mystic Knot series, but they've got some unique spins on it this year that we're going to get a chance to try out here. So these are 4 bourbon-barrel aged Imperial Stouts that are brewed with coffee and different blends of coffee. They partnered with Stone Creek Coffee Company here in the state, and that's where all the goodies came from as we dive through these. So we've already got them poured. We're going to dive right into the first beer here. Yeah. So what are we trying?
We got the base Mystic Knot. This comes in at 10.5% ABV, and it's aged for 7 months in bourbon barrels. It is listed as an Imperial Cream Stout, and this is brewed with the Stone Creek Three Volcanoes coffee. So very interesting, but it's the base. Should be good. So let's get in there.
In the spirit of St. Patty's Day, let's get a little nose on it. Ooh. Definitely get the coffee.
Yes, absolutely. That's the first thing I got.
I think that creaminess from the Irish cream is coming through a little bit too, but more subtle. Definitely the major note on the nose of this is that coffee, that Three Volcanoes coffee. That smells really good.
Yeah, that smells fantastic.
I'm actually excited about this. All right, let's give it a shot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hold on.
It's solid.
It's very good. So you get that coffee, but that creaminess kind of blands out. Not bland, that's a bad word. Kind of cuts through that bitterness of the coffee. Yeah, that's a bad word. To really give you a nice kind of smooth taste all the way through. It's very flavorful.
Good work, Third Space, on finding a great coffee company to partner with for this, because I've had some really bad coffee beers lately, so this is like taking it up a notch. Really, really good stuff. The coffee hits you right on the front end.
Yeah.
So as I take a sip, the coffee's there, and then the coffee backs off towards the back end of the beer, and like the Irish cream flavor really comes through strongly. So really well done.
Yeah, you get a lot of that coffee on the nose, which gives you that coffee up front, and then the taste kind of comes in with, exactly as you said, that Irish cream. Very smooth, very good, very, for lack of a better term, very heavy in a very refreshing way. It's like solid beer. Not a lot of bourbon though. For being a bourbon barrel, I would not guess this is a bourbon aged beer from the taste.
That's a great point. Like, I actually forgot it was even bourbon barrel aged. That's how baked into the beer the bourbon is on this beer. I get almost none of it.
Yeah. I would not guess this is a bourbon barrel beer.
Yeah, there's like no bourbon on this. It doesn't taste like it. I mean, I would like to taste more bourbon on it, but quite frankly, it's not missing it.
No, exactly.
I mean, it's definitely not.
That's a good way of putting it. You're not missing it on this one. So
it's a really good beer. Untappd. I guess for the first one here in this series, I'm gonna probably put this around a 4. I think it's really good. This is super drinkable. We're getting towards the end of the stout season where I really want to be drinking a bunch of these, but this is really, really solid, really good. And I've never had this before, so I'm pretty pumped about it.
I'm going to agree right with you with the 4. I think it's a good number. I think it's one of those where you maybe were expecting a little bit more from a flavor standpoint, but it's full body. You get what exactly as it says. It's a stout. It's got a nice coffee flavor. And you get some creaminess, and it's just really well made. So I like the 4. I think it's a good number.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so up next, the next one in the series. So this one is the Mystic Lavender, and if you watched our Final Four videos or our Wisco beer tournament, we tried a lavender beer during that series that was a major turnoff. So I am super curious to see what lavender means in this stout. So like the original, this one comes in at 10.5%. This is aged 7 months in bourbon barrels. And its adjuncts are lavender and cacao. So kind of that lavender note as well as a little bit of chocolate. So that'll be interesting. This is actually made with Stone Creek's Green Bike coffee. Neither of these coffees have I had, but I'll be curious to see if that makes a difference in this beer too. So let's get a little nose on it. Ooh.
Again, the biggest thing on the nose is that coffee again.
I'm getting the lavender.
Really? Okay.
I'm getting the lavender big time on the nose. I get the coffee a little bit behind the lavender, but it's lavender on the nose. I mean, and it's lavender.
I think you're scarred with lavender.
I mean, that word is like almost a naughty word now. Okay.
All right.
Let's give this thing a go. Again, hold on. But no bourbon on this again.
Exactly, yeah.
There's no bourbon cutting through this. All right, let's give it a shot.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. You know what?
I'll let you go first. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to. The lavender is an undertone to this beer. It's definitely there on the front end of the beer, but it's not super in your face.
No,
it's there. The coffee is a little sweeter. I feel like there's a little bit more sweetness from this coffee blend. That kind of cuts through the back end, almost like it's almost like almost like coffee ground. Like I almost get kind of that type of flavor towards the back end, which I actually really like. Lavender is not my choice, but I have to say it does a pretty good job in this beer. I don't dislike this as much as I anticipated I would.
So for me, I'll be honest, I'm not tasting lavender in any way, shape, or form.
Really?
I'm not getting it. I wasn't getting the nose either, so I must be missing something.
Are you okay?
We'll see. What I will say is the flavor packs a punch right at the front, and then the back end, it really dissipates fast for me.
It does.
To a disappointing point almost, because up front the flavor is really good. I get that nice coffee on the nose. I get the coffee up front, and then as I start to drink it and go more, I don't get anything on the back end, and it's disappointing because of how much flavor you get up front.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, putting this in Untappd, I don't like this as much as the base beer. I still think it's really good though. And it's well made. I don't know who's asking for lavender in beers. Is that new? I don't know.
I've never heard of it.
But I'm going to put this around a 3.5.
Okay.
I'm going to put it there because it is a good beer. I would definitely drink this if someone was like, hey, I've got this Imperial Cream Stout. Here we go. I'd be down. 3.5.
I wouldn't turn it down. It's definitely better than I was expecting given what we've already discussed. I'm going to go a little bit lower, 3.25. And I'm only doing 3.25 and that's slightly lower because of how good it is actually up front, and then just how much it just loses and dissipates as you start to continue to drink. And it's because you want that flavor up front all the way through. If it was there, it'd be much higher. Probably higher than the base, but it just needs that a little bit more coming through.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, all right, so third we got Mystic Berry. So this, again, it's going to come in at 10.5%, also aged 7 months in bourbon barrels. This time, though, it's got a little blueberry, blackberry, and vanilla in it, which is very unique. I knew about the berry. I would not know about the vanilla until we got here today, so I'm really interested how that's going to kind of cut through some of that.
Have you had Liney's Berry Vice?
I've had Berry Vice.
Like, that is the berry beer that makes me not want to try this.
Yeah, 100%.
Quite frankly, no offense, Liney Kugels, but that beer is
It's not for us. I've had some blueberry maple stouts, which I've also kind of thought about. We're going into this one, but the one that this does have is that vanilla, which I was not aware of until I got here today.
The mocha pie vanilla was fantastic, so we know Third Space can handle some vanilla. So
again, this is using Stone Creek coffee. This time it's the Peruvian Switchback coffee, which again I haven't had anything from Switchback, so I'll just get that out there. But based on the beer I've had so far, I kind of like it now.
Yeah.
So
good stuff.
Let's get some nose on it.
Yep.
That's blueberry.
This one I'm getting a little more bourbon on, though, than I was on the other two.
Yeah, it could be that sweetness of the berry that you're kind of getting that bourbon, too.
I think it might be, but there's a little bit more I'm getting the fruit, but I think the fruit notes or the berry notes on this are not as pungent as what we saw on the first two beers, maybe, because the coffee's not coming through on this one for me. So I think that might be allowing the bourbon to come through a little bit more on the nose.
I'm definitely getting the berry. I can smell the berry, but it's not, for the word you use, it's not pungent. It's actually pretty subtle. It's pretty light, which is exciting for me because I'm slightly worried about the berry in this. But.
Yeah. Let's give it a go.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so up front, you definitely get the blackberry and the blueberry all the way through. It's there in the front, it's there in the back end. I get no coffee at all on this.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I don't get any vanilla either, which is unfortunate because I was hoping for that vanilla to really come through here. It's the berry's there. It's relatively strong all the way through. It's okay. It's not.
Yeah. The berry's there on the front end for me, but it's weak. I do, unlike you, I get a little vanilla on the back end, but it's subtle. It's not pronounced in the beer. Like you said, there's no coffee, and on the actual front or back end of the beer, I'm not getting bourbon coming through this either. It tastes like a pretty standard Imperial Stout with a little bit of berry note.
And I'm getting more, but it's sweet. It's very sweet for me.
The sweetness kicks up. I think the sweetness doesn't like punch you in the nose or in the mouth on the front end of the beer, but I think the sweetness accelerates or increases as you get towards the back end of the beer.
That's good. It definitely lingers, and it's there, and it's slightly off-putting for me. I just don't like berry in my stouts for the most part. It really depends. I should preface, I don't like blackberries. I don't like blueberries. I just don't like them as a fruit. So.
I do. This doesn't bother me, but it doesn't mean it's good. It's not bad, but if I'm putting this in Untappd, I'm putting it in at a 3, just because I guess I don't see the point. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
I know, that's a good way of putting
it. I mean, I guess I don't see the point. Like, it's like, okay. I mean, yeah, in comparison to even the last two, and especially the first beer, I don't get it.
No, I think to what you said, I think you kind of took it from me. Is the berry feels like an afterthought to me. It's like they made this good beer, they're missing out, and they're like, let's throw berry in there. I'm going to put this about 2.75. It's a well-made beer. Like, look, if you like blackberry and blueberry in your stouts, absolutely get this. It's really well made. You definitely get that taste throughout. It's just not my style.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it about 2.75.
That's fair.
All right.
Up last, we've got the Mystic Mole. Now, if you've seen any of our previous beer reviews, we did some chili beers from 1840. These are not usually my favorite types of beers, but this one, just like the other ones, come in at 10.5%, 7 months in Bourbon-Barrel, supposedly. I mean, I'm not getting it, but as far as adjuncts in this, we've got cacao, we've got ancho chili, and then additional spices. So kind of interesting. I'm expecting a little bit of a spicier beer here. This one, like the base beer, is brewed with Stone Creek's Three Volcanoes coffee, which was really great in the first one. Yeah. So let's get a little nose on this thing. Okay. Definitely the spices come through first, and then the chili comes in a little bit behind the spices, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely can smell the chili.
And honestly, I'll say with coffee stouts, I sometimes get coffee mixed with spices in my when I'm smelling it. And it's almost like they're battling. You get that chili, the spice, and that coffee all trying to come through at once. Actually, kind of unique. It smells pretty good on the nose.
It does. So. It's very well blended on the nose. Like I think the chili, the spices, and the coffee are all there, but none of them are really overpowering the other. But again, no bourbon on the nose.
You beat me to it.
All right, let's give this thing a shot.
Cheers.
Cheers. Whoa.
All right, second sip, you get a little more of that spice to it. That's really good.
It's not bad.
I'm actually really enjoying this.
This is not that typical chili beer where it's like, you get that like twinge in the back of your throat and that scratchiness in the back of your throat from the chilies. Like, this is not spicy. There's spices in it and they're there, but they're a little bit more laid back. Yeah. It's not in your face.
It's actually, I mean, the spice it's there in the sense that you can taste what a spice would taste like without the spiciness behind it. Mm-hmm. It's very tasty. It's actually very smooth all the way through. I think the coffee really helps subdue maybe some of that spiciness that you would normally get out of it.
The spice notes really linger. Like, that's what lingers is the spice, not the chili, not the coffee. Like, I get like the scent of it even still in my nose.
It's gonna sound weird, but actually I'm kind of smelling a little bit and kind of not so much tasting but smelling, which is throwing everything off for me, is a little bit like how a pumpkin pie would smell.
Yeah, okay, I get that. I was trying to figure out what it was, and I think you're right. It kind of is a little
weird
like
because it's throwing everything off because I'm smelling pumpkin pie, but I know there's ancho chilies in this. I'm expecting one thing and I'm getting something else, and it's actually very unique, very kind of fun beer to drink. To be honest with you.
All right, so rating this. I'm not as big of a fan as you. I'm. This is another I don't necessarily get it. There's not enough here to make it like that chili style beer, and to me, it's like if you're not going to go all the way, like why put 1 foot in? So, and I'm not even a big fan of that style, but I can appreciate it. I'm going to put this one at a 2.75. I actually like this less than the berry. Okay. It's not a bad beer. I mean, 2.75 is not horrible. No. It's just, I wouldn't, out of all four of these, this is the one I would least like to drink.
And actually, I don't disagree with what you said, where if you're going to make a beer with chilies and spice and everything, why not make it a spicy beer? I actually don't disagree with you at all. I completely agree. I just find this very flavorful and very fun beer to drink with what I'm getting on the nose, I'm getting in the taste. So I'm going to actually put it at 3.5.
Okay.
So it's very good. I would definitely see myself ordering this again, but not having multiple in a single night. I can't see myself drinking 2 of these. I think at a certain point I'm just going to get kind of like, okay, now it's getting too much. But at this small amount, it's very good, very flavorful. So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, another great In the Spirit series set from Third Space. We've got a lot more breweries coming. Where can we find some of this stuff?
So you can go to thirdspacebrewing.com to find any of their beer. Actually, currently the berry and the base are still available as of right now.
Yeah, as of today.
So
don't know when you're watching this video, but it probably won't be. But
definitely check them out. And Third Space is just it's a fun little brewery. It's a really good space and everything. So definitely check that one out if you haven't been there yet.
Yeah, I guess the other 2 beers are still available, but only at the brewery. So if you can get into the brewery, they'll sell it over the counter, but they're not taking orders for it for to-go anymore at this point. A lot more breweries to come. We've got some really fun content coming soon. We really want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate all of your support and everybody who's been guest stars and has been providing content and all of that stuff. We really, really appreciate it. We're really excited for the summer and what's coming here soon. So keep us in the loop. Check us out on all of our social media pages. As always, Untappd, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're keeping that stuff rolling. You can find our stuff there. Like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. Would love to hear from you if you've got thoughts, things you'd like to see as the summer comes up. New beers are releasing all over the place. We're trying to get you as much content as we can.
Hard to keep up.
Let us know if there's something you'd like to see. Other than that, stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Have a good one. Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.